Good morning, class. Nice to see you. I'm Mary Carroll, and this is How to Survive English 101. Make sure you subscribe below. I'm going to be posting every single Monday. I'll be here all semester long to help you pass that class. First thing we're going to do is review a real simple sentence structure. Now, I find the best way to review this is with some super simple, silly sentences. So let's take a look at what I've got here. This is a simple declarative sentence, all right? The cat ran. Well, obviously, that's like a kindergarten sentence, right? Okay, but there's two things I want you to know about this. A sentence is always a complete thought, and there's always a subject to it. In other words, the sentence is about something, right? So what is this sentence about? I'm going to give you a second to think about that. There's only 3 words up here. What is the sentence talking about? Who or what is it? Right, it's the cat. Okay? Now, the cat is what we're talking about. Now, I want to do something for you. Imagine you're on the quad and you walk up to a friend and you say, "Hey, Arnie, the cat." Is he going to know what you're talking about? Of course not. It doesn't make any sense, right? Well, because the cat is not a complete sentence. A complete sentence always finishes a thought, all right? So let's take a look at what we have here. The cat ran. That's a complete thought, isn't it? We have something we're talking about, and we know what it is doing. So now if you walk up to Arnie on the quad and you say, "Hey, Arnie, the cat ran." Well, he might not know what cat you're talking about or why you're telling him that, but you've given him a complete thought, haven't you? All right. So the cat is the subject of the sentence, and ran is what the cat did. It's the action. Okay? That's a complete sentence. It's as simple as that. The cat ran. We can replace this with a zillion other things, right? The dog peed. The bird sang. All of those are simple sentences with an action verb. We call it an action verb because you can see it happening. You can visualize it, right? Okay. Now, there's one other kind of verb that really trips everybody up, but I want you to understand this kind of verb because it's in most of the sentences that you're going to be writing in your college papers. All right, I'm going to write it here. The caterpillar becomes what? Now, this is a little bit tricky. It's a little different, but it's a normal English construction. The caterpillar is the subject. We know we're talking about a caterpillar, but if you walk up to Arnie and you say, "Hey, Arnie, the caterpillar becomes," it's still not a complete thought, is it? The reason it isn't is because even though this is a verb, it's a verb that expresses a state of being, and therefore it requires something after it. So the caterpillar becomes a butterfly. Now you have a complete sentence. Now, this kind of a verb called state of being, there aren't very many in the English language. There aren't very many, but you do need to know them. Okay? You're going to recognize them because they're the simplest ones we use. They are am, are, was, been, is, am, are, was, been, is. These are all conjugations of to be. And I think there are a couple of others. I'll think of them and get them up here for you. Okay? The caterpillar becomes a butterfly. The cat ran. These are simple declarative sentences. Declarative means it's just declaring a fact, right? That's all it means, okay? Now, I'm going to do one little thing for you because most of the sentences that you write in college for your papers are going to be more complicated than this. But let's try something. I'm going to show you how to make these sentences just a little bit more interesting. So let's say the calico cat ran. Right away, you've got a different picture in your mind before. Maybe some of you were thinking of a black cat, some of you were thinking of a gray and white striped cat, a spotted cat, but nope, I said calico. So now you've got a real distinct picture in your mind. This is also important for when you write. You're often going to want something a lot more specific, right? So the calico cat ran, but I want you to understand this is still a simple sentence. Let's keep going here. The calico cat ran under the porch. All right, let me ask you this. Is it still a simple sentence? Think about that for a minute. Is it still a simple sentence? The calico cat ran under the porch. I assume you've made your guess by now. It is still a simple sentence. The only thing we've done is add a little bit of embellishments, a little bit of descriptive language, so that we can visualize what we're talking about a little bit better. It still just has the subject and the verb. It's a simple sentence, and it's a complete thought. So what do we have at the end of a complete thought? Obviously a period. Now, my students used to get upset if I started taking points off for a period, and they'd say, I can't believe you're taking a point off for a period. And I'd say, I can't believe you're 18, and I got to tell you to put a period at the end of your sentences. So don't forget that. Always put a period at the end of your sentences. Now, we can do the same thing for this simple sentence over here with a state of being verb. We can say, the striped caterpillar becomes a monarch. All right, now we've got a sentence that works a little bit harder. It's giving us a picture. It's still a complete thought. It has more words. Is it still a simple sentence? Well, you know the answer because of what we talked about over here. Yes, it's still a simple sentence. We have a caterpillar. There's your subject. And we have the verb becomes. That's it. It's a subject and a verb with a little bit of adjectives. We know it's a striped caterpillar, so we added an adjective. And it becomes a monarch. Okay? It's called a predicate nominative. You don't need to know any of that. It doesn't matter. But these state of being verbs always come with something after it because they act like an equal sign. If some of you are good at math, so the caterpillar equals a monarch. So the caterpillar equals a butterfly. They are the same thing. So that's why you always have to have something after it because this verb acts like the equal sign, and without anything after it, you haven't closed the thought. All right? All right. This is our lesson for today. I think it's really simple. If you think you don't recognize a complete sentence, just take 10 minutes to write 10 complete, simple sentences right now in your notebook for a little bit of practice. All right? Next lesson coming up.